Hey guys, it's BW and we're back out in the garage. You guys can see it's a blowed up mess. I got all this stuff from when we restored the bike and I got to just get rid of everything, clear the tables. Then we're going to open up some boxes and we're going to do a little project on the 55. We're going to get back on that. Alright, so why don't you guys stick around and check us out. Had to stop a minute. I was getting waffled with mosquitoes. And just like that, we go from a motorcycle mess back to a car mess. Let's go through these boxes and see what we got. Alright guys, well I brought these parts up out of the basement. I don't have a drive shaft right now. I don't have enough exhaust parts right now. I know when we left off we were working underneath the car. We just finished up the ladder bar job. I'm going to stick that video up in the upper right hand corner. Anybody that didn't check that out yet really needs to. It was a really cool video. Alright, I'm also going to make a playlist start to finish on that particular subject when I get some time. But for right now, I wanted to show you guys our next project that's going to hold us over until our other parts get here, okay? So first up, we got our cool steering wheel. All right. Got it from Speedway. It's still in the plastic. We're just going to leave it there. It's really cool. I think what I want to do is I want to have it painted the American flag. I'm going to show you guys a picture of that right now to give you an idea what I'd like to have. Maybe it's tacky, maybe it's cool. I don't know. Give me your input and let me know what you think. Stick with the standard black or go with this cool ass thing here. All right, next up, I got these parts here to hold the steering column to the top of the dash. All right, I have this piece, I think it goes up to the dash. This piece goes underneath. And then we have this rubber strip right here as the cushion that goes around in between these and the steering column. All right. I have an extra one of these. I ordered it from eBay. They told me it wasn't going to come, canceled my order and gave me my money back. So I ordered from Dan Chunk, it came, and then the other one from eBay came, no charge. So if anybody needs one of these, I'll pay it forward. All right. It's in on my coffee table, believe it or not. Got to bring it out and put it with my other 55 spare parts. All right, next up, we got our universals for the steering. All right, so we got this one here, and I got these numbers off Tinberg because I'm using his front clip, so I got the part numbers for what the standard stuff he uses when he's putting his steering columns together. So this is the splined end in here. Hopefully you guys can see all that, and this is the squared off end. All right, and that goes to the steering box, and then this one is going to come off of the steering column, and this is going to be the other end. And I got the steel in here in this box. I'm going to pull it out right now, and that's going to be the go-between for these two universals. All right. Oh man, look at this! I didn't know these were in here. Oh man. Looks like we got a couple more of the BW Garage keychains. I found 3 of them. I swear, I didn't know they were in there. So guess what? We'll give one away a week with our sticker giveaway on Friday Lives. Cool. All right. All right, so here's the turn signal and the tilt steering bar for the steering column that I'm going to show you next. We got it from Ididit. All right. There's that. Our new wiring harness is going to be able to plug right into this, guys. We got American Auto Wire wiring harness, so things are going to be pretty easy when we start putting stuff together. But here's our Ididit steering column. Notice it's in raw metal right now, okay? In this box right here is our Hot Rod Black. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put this all together. Steering column. We're going to put together our linkage to the steering box. Make sure everything works and everything's right. And once we make sure it's right, we're going to blow it back apart, and then we're going to paint everything at the same time. All right. We're going to get the everything primered correctly. The dash is already in a good what do you want to call it? Oh man, I'm tongue tied today. But it's already protected against rust. It's got the sealer on it, the black sealer. So we're gonna clean it real good. And then I bought this high build primer 2-in-1 filler sander, and we're gonna coat the heck out of it with that. And then we're gonna sand it smooth. And we're gonna go from like 300 to 600, maybe up to 1200, and get it real clean. And then we're gonna try for the very first time to use hot rod black, and we're going to try to paint the dash. We got some self-etching primer to put on our steering column and our garnish molding that we got from Chevelle Ranch a while back. We're going to get all that cleaned up, put the etching primer on that, and then we're going to spray everything at once: the dash, the steering column, and the garnish molding with this hot rod black. So that's going to be our project for this week. All right, we're going to get the interior going on this car. It's something we can do in between. It's parts I do have right now. My next thing to order will be the drive shaft. All right, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and open this box and take a look at this. They're the rectangular bars. I think I bought the stainless steel, guys. I'm going by memory, and I might have bought, I think I bought two, and I probably only needed one. Maybe it is only one. No, it is only one. I think what it is I only needed like 19 inches was the guess, but I had to buy the longer bar. So I'm gonna have quite a bit left over. I think that's what I was talking about because I ordered this a while back. I asked Tinberg about it, oh man, at least 6 months ago, if not longer. Oh yeah, look at that, nice finish on it, right? So that's what that's for. All right, so let me collect myself for a second here, and then we're gonna open up the car and we're gonna take a look and get this stuff going. Give me a minute. All right, guys, it took more than a minute to set up. I wanna go through these directions. I wanna show you what I'm looking at. It looks pretty cool. We're gonna mock things up together, and then I'm gonna stop for the night, go in, reread the directions. I never put a steering column in. It looks pretty simple, but I'm gonna check a few things out to make sure I'm doing stuff right. So let me show you what I got. All right, so I don't know, you guys have seen the inside of here a million times. I don't know if you remember, but I got the Flamin' River swivel for the steering column. All right, it replaces this old stock one right here, and that goes on the outside and all that. So if anybody needs this, let me know, not a problem. Okay, but yeah, we're going with the Flamin' River one. We're gonna kind of be in a holding pattern because I don't know if I'm working overtime tomorrow, but I have to stop and get some nuts at the hardware store, and they should be open tomorrow at 6, but I'll check. But these are like I don't know, a half 24. They're a fine thread. They might even be like a weird size, but I'm gonna go in and see if I can read and find out what size they are, because I don't have the nuts for this. Because like I say, this goes up in there like that, and then the other piece, and then the rubber goes in there. All right. So I don't have those nuts to mock everything up. So I'm gonna just use a little bit of mechanics wire, and I want to see what depth I want to set this steering column at. I know you got choices. I guess it depends on the person. I'm thinking I'm a taller guy. I think I'd like to have it, you know, semi closer to the dash. So I'm going to look at a couple different locations. So let me get it put in there with a little bit of mechanics wire, and then we'll come back and look at it together. So just give me a minute. Real quick, guys, this bracket that I have to use that goes on the bottom that holds the steering column up in, it has this little tab on it. All right, and I forgot to tell you guys, I'll show you. The steering column from Ididit, I already rolled it over so you can see this actually goes on the bottom. It has a slot, and that's what this tab sets down in right there. So when I bring it all the way up, that's the maximum where it's gonna have to be. All right, now I was reading and they say you can go higher if you want to get the steering column closer in, but at that point you would have to drill a hole. But it already has this stock location slot. I think we're gonna end up using that. You can see the tab fits right in there, like so. And then with the rubber on there, it'll be perfect. All right. So let me continue on and let me put this in there with a little bit of mechanics wire, and then we're gonna look at some things together. All right, guys. Well, you know, I've only gone through the directions once, and I think I got things set up right, but the baling wire idea is not gonna work to kind of temporarily hold things. I really need those nuts. Let me show you what I got, what's going on. So we're basically gonna drop back and punt tonight, but I can give you a real good idea of what's going on here. All right, first of all, I just got the baling wire holding it up so whenever it's sitting down, it's not putting pressure on my hydraulic clutch master cylinder. All right, but it fits real nice into our Flaming River fitting, okay, no problem. The one thing is it's the steering column has to come out just a little bit more so that this groove right here will line up with this tab. All right, now I'm gonna put the rubber piece up in and put the tab up to the fitting right, or excuse me, the opening right here. And what that is it anti-rotates, so your steering, it'll lock your steering column in, I believe anyway. I never did this. I'm gonna go in and read, but I mean, from the mechanical side of things, that's pretty much what it does. It probably locks us in from turning. All right, now I just went briefly through the directions, and it basically right here where this is going to be at 9 o'clock. Your horn is at 10:30, and that's all right because this groove has to be at 6 o'clock to lock everything in. Okay, so we do know it has to come forward a little bit, but I really can't do nothing without those nuts. And I might even ask my kid to come over and hold things while I put it up in there, because I could just imagine I'm not putting it in by myself when you got to put it in, because you'll be bouncing it around and scratching up your nice new paint. So, all right, let me show, now that I've showed you that, let me come around and show you that I know we have it basically clocked correctly. All right, so we're looking at our steering box here, and I just slid the universal on. And you can see, hopefully you can see, how this rectangle is vertical. The long side is vertical. All right, so over here, you'll see that the steering column, let me see if I can get it up here. It's basically horizontal. I'm just a hair off, I keep bumping it, guys. So it's horizontal, but when you take your universal, which is right here, and it's on horizontal, and when you put that on, this side is going to be vertical. So we know that that's right. It's just a matter of setting the depth of the steering column and having those nuts to squeeze everything up, and then I can take my measurement from here to that one, and then we'll cut that bar down. Remember I told you, look how long a bar I got. I got way too long a bar. I could probably do this job 2 times, maybe 3. But that's all right. It's better to have too much than not enough, right? All right, so we're gonna look at it again tomorrow. I'm gonna work on this during the course of the week, because I mean, I've been working a lot of overtime, but just wanted to get started and chipping away back at the car. So we'll just piecemeal this together, and I'll bring you guys along the whole way. All right, so that's where I'm at for tonight. I'm gonna get tucked in, go in and get washed up, and get ready for bed and get ready for work tomorrow. All right, I'll bring you guys back in as soon as I'm back out in the garage. Okay guys, well, it's like 2 days later. We're back out in the shop. I feel like I'm a little smarter on this job than I was initially. So I never put a steering column in, guys, so we're figuring it out. I read some good literature. I've read the directions a couple times. All right, for right now, I learned that we got to bring the steering column as far back as we can. They don't want any of the column itself sticking out into the engine compartment. So that brings this slot almost all the way to the end that this bracket locks it in with. Now I just got the rubber kind of stuffed in there. This thing is not perfect right now, but it's right where it needs to be. All right, I got this wood in here because I'm going to put the seat in and just kind of see where everything is, right? Okay, so we'll come around to the engine compartment. And I know you guys were talking the other day when I was talking about the positioning of these, you know, if this one's up, this one's up. Well, that's called phasing. On ours, we're cool because we're using, I think they call it square double D or something like that. It's a, you know, it's a rectangular actually bar that goes from piece to piece. And like the race car guys, they got to really watch because their connecting rod piece are generally hollow and round. So it's very important for them that their phasing, that's the word they use, is correct. And what they mean by phasing is how the knuckles are aligned for the universals. Like, see how this one is right here? And for ours, the rectangle's facing up like this. So if you look at ours, then it's facing like this way with this. And if you look at it, the knuckles are lined up. You know, so you can only be this way or 180 degrees this way, and you're cool both ways. So for this, it's kind of pretty cut and dry. But if you were like putting a race car together and you had a hollow round one, and you would really have to watch how you clocked your universals so that they lined up, or you can end up with like clunking and rough spots in your steering, and they call that phasing. So I hope I explained that right, because I just learned about it myself. And there's nothing wrong with that, learning as you go. So what's happening right now is I was getting ready to put this universal on and measure to cut my bar. This will not fit correctly on this steering column. It's a little bit off both ways. I'm trying to get it on there. So I'm going to take this column back out and look at it on the bench and see if I can get this to fit pretty good. Once I get this fitted up on our column, we'll be able to measure our piece in between and cut it, and then stick it in there and take a look at it and see how everything is. All right, so give me a minute to pull that column back out. All right guys, I got this back on the bench. I mean, it's really close, and it's probably designed to be a little snug, but it's just not gonna go. I mean, it's close, but it's just not gonna go. Maybe with a little help. So I'm just gonna chamfer this a little bit, and if that don't do it, I'll try to give it a little tiny assistance on there to see if we can make that work. I'm sure, I mean, this looks like it was just pressed down, so I'm sure it's really close, but is it perfect? I doubt it. All right guys, well, that was a little bit of a bugger. I just sanded at it a little bit. I didn't take too much off. I helped it on the first time just to get a line to where I needed to remove a little bit of material. It goes on pretty good, pretty easy for the first 1/4 inch, and it gets tight here. And then you just give it a couple wobbles that last little bit, and that's on there really tight. You can see where the set screws, I took those out. I got a full bit of metal there. The shaft, I don't know. I mean, it gets smaller and smaller as it comes up here. Like I said, this looks like it was just put in like a jig and pressed. So I'm gonna leave it like that. There's no play in it at all. And when you put this set screws on there, it's gonna be plenty tight. So let me get this back into the car, and I'll bring you guys back in. We'll measure and we'll cut our square piece to put in, or excuse me, our rectangular piece to put in. All right guys, well, all this to get right back to where we were. Just taking a quick measurement right here, and it's looking like 16 with a lot of play. I think I'd like to go, yeah, 16 and an eighth. All right, so I'm gonna cut a piece of that bar, and then we'll check it out. Hang on. All right guys, well, I fitted this up. I ended up cutting it about 16 and a quarter-ish, 3/16 we'll say. The wafer wheel might have took a little bit off each side, but I got it, it's just about an 1/8 inch shy of coming out on each end of the joint. I feel like that'll be okay. If it's not, somebody let me know. I got a bar twice as long as this that I could redo it, but I feel like it's good. You can see right there, there's the top of it. You can see it right there, about an 1/8 inch before the end. On the steering column, it's, I don't know, it's about a 1/4 inch past the set screw. I feel like that's good. I really wanted to put the steering wheel on, bolt the column up, jack it up, and just make sure there's no clunking. I forgot to buy the adapter kit, guys. I thought I had it. I went back and looked at the video the other day, and I'm like, man, that wasn't in the box. You know, you need that adapter kit to get this, to put it on the spline of the column. So I'm kind of in a holding pattern. But we do got it in there and mocked up. And I'm glad I did, because I could just imagine painting this. If I took it out and showed you right now all the little nicks for me banging it in and out to get it where I wanted. I think there's one right there. It would have been a mess. So I'm glad we took the time to just kind of mock it up. The rubber's not all the way in up top, it keeps popping out, but I know I can, you know, get a screwdriver and kind of pack it in there before I tighten everything up. So I'm happy with what we got right now. The, you know, it's set right like 9 o'clock, 10:30. Hopefully I didn't jostle this thing around too much. It felt like it turns real nice, you know. It was just putting that one universal on. You know, for as much as I did it charges for steering columns, they got to do a little bit better there. I know aftermarket stuff never fits right and you got to play with it, but you know, the money they're charging, they got to do a little bit better. But we got it and we're happy with it. So we're going to let that ride. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, I haven't had a video up with the car in a really long time. Let me bring this up a little bit, you know. I haven't had a video with the car in a really long time, and I feel like, you know, I need to put something up for the car. We're back on it. I'm going to start slowly trickling parts in. So I just want to put this video up and show you. I just started mocking up the steering. I'll blow that all back apart in a little bit. I'll leave it for right now, but I'm going to get the drive shaft ordered. We're going to get back underneath the car. I got some of the exhaust stuff. I need to get a little bit more, but we got the juices flowing again. And a lot of guys been asking, when are you going to start working on the car again? Well, I just started working on the car again. I'm going to go in, edit this, and get it ready. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put it up like as a premiere right after our Friday Night Live, or maybe like end our Friday Night Live a little bit early. I don't know, and then roll right into this. I don't know how it works, but I'm going to try. All right, we got some new subscribers. We got 44 this month. I'm really happy with that. I'd like to get a little more growth. So if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell too, so you know that when we do put out a video, you can come over and check it out. All right, we're trying real hard. We hope everybody likes our content. We're going to keep right on rolling. I'm really happy and excited to get back on the car, and I hope you are too. Till next time, take care, everybody.